knowledge acquisition. You must value knowledge. You must be a voracious knowledge. How do I put this now? You must quest for knowledge. So, whether it's revelational knowledge which comes from God, whether it's from what God has already said, which is in his book, whether it's from teaching, sermons, books, conferences, whatever it is, you must always, always, always be willing, be ready to learn new stuff, to even implement what you've learned. And what we are doing this morning is the implementation part of it. What we are doing this morning is the implementation part of it. I want to share one or two thoughts with you that will help you learn or know how to implement what you have learned. That would help you know how to implement what you have learned. Because if we keep on teaching ourselves, and we do not, and we do not understand that knowledge alone cannot change a life, and we do not provoke ourselves to action, then we wasted time. Then the last 7 weeks have been a waste of time, both for me and for you that has listened. Tons and tons of people, in fact, I've never received that amount of messages before, even on this show. And this show is in its 4th year now. Not ever so many messages about the teachings of the last 7 weeks, especially for people who want to listen again. So one of the things that I've seen or learned from that is a lot of us are in that situation where we don't have enough. For those who have maybe something, they don't even know how to manage it. Many others don't know how to multiply it. So you see, you ask an average person to, open your account or go check your account statements and see how much that has entered your account from January, say let's say 2025, for instance, from January 2025 up until December 2025. And you realize that many people are actually millionaires. Some are even billionaires because so much money passed through their accounts. But come December 31st, 2025, they are still the same way or just around the vicinity of where they were at the beginning of the year, January 1st. So that helps us to see that it is not just about how much money you've made. Sometimes it's about how you can manage it, keep it, multiply it. Oh, I got tons of messages. See, information without action leads to frustration. There is no one more frustrated than someone who knows what to do. Or rather, who knows, that is it. Someone more frustrated that who has all the information, knows what to do, but doesn't do it. And then 6 months later, 2 years later, looks back, sees the quality of information he or she had and didn't do anything with. And someone else who is probably not as intelligent did something with it and can show something for their life. You'll be frustrated, you will hate yourself. Information without action leads to frustration. So I have come here this morning to share with us just tips, simple tips that would help us take action. So if you need to get a pen and a paper, that's fine. That's very fine. The whole idea, if I'm to sum up this entire 7 weeks teaching into this one, is that you should start with what you have. Is that you must indeed start with what you have. Why is it that nothing moves in life? The Newton's first law of motion that says all objects remain in a state of rest or continuous motion until an external force acts upon it, until a force acts upon it. So your breakthrough is not going to happen until you take action. So if you like, go Go and pay ₦1 million, 10 million naira to learn something. Until you do something, nothing will change. Nothing will change. Nothing. So you've learned how money works. You've learned that wealth is built. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel taught us that wealth is created. You've learned what to do differently. But here is the truth. Your life will not change because you listened. Your life will only change because you acted. It will only change because you acted. Many of us like learning. In fact, we love learning. But when it comes to starting to implement what we have learned, it feels like something holds us back. In science, they've called it the law of inertia. And that states that it states the unwillingness of an object in a state of rest or an object in motion to either start moving or stop moving. Let me explain. So see, maybe a stone is on the floor. The force that is keeping that stone on the floor is the inertia, the incapacity, unwillingness, inability of that stone to move. It is inertia that is keeping it down. And it doesn't only apply to inanimate objects, it applies to you as a human being. You hear so much, you learn so much, you write so much, you see so much, but you don't do anything with what you have learned. So you see someone who has been maybe you have a small kiosk where you sell something and you've been there from 2000, year 2026 now, 26 years later, you are still in that particular position. You are afraid of moving because you don't know what will happen if you upset the balance of what is already working. It is the law of inertia that is keeping you there. Or you don't have a job yet, you are jobless, and you are afraid that if you do this one, will this succeed? If you do that one, will this succeed? And you keep on second-guessing your capacity, you keep on asking questions, you keep on learning, but you don't start anything. You don't move. You wake up, you read all the books, you go for, but nothing different happens in your life. It's the law of inertia. It's the law of inertia. God does not bless intentions. He blesses actions. He blesses actions. The actions you take corresponding to the information you have. So God says, go to Abraham, to a place I will show you. And the guy doesn't sit down to say, no, let's discuss it. Let us draw a diagram. Let's have an architecture. No, he takes action. He obeys. I've taught on this show before that your miracle follows your obedience. Your miracle does not follow your what? Your understanding. It follows your obedience. So the moment you understand why you should be doing what you want to do, what the result is going to be, time would have passed. Those that took action would have gotten to the finished point. You cannot do anything anymore because time has passed. Are you listening to me, somebody? God blesses your actions, not just your intentions. Not just your intentions. You are rewarded for the job you did, not for the job you can do. You are rewarded for the job you did, not for the job you can do. So you're a PhD holder, but you've not done any research that is valuable to humanity, and you are expecting that because you have a PhD, you've done this, you've done that, nobody is going to give you any grants. So knowledge is not power, as we normally will say. What is power is the application of the knowledge you have. So if someone says knowledge is power, it is only right, but to a limit. That is incomplete in itself. It is applied knowledge that is power. That's the reality. James chapter 1 verse 22 says that, be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. This has become so cliche that we just say it without really, really believing, because if we indeed believe what we've said, we will do it. He says, deceiving yourself. So ask yourself this morning, Chinedu. Yeah, I'm coming for you again, Chinedu. So have you been deceiving yourself? In fact, many of us have gotten so comfortable deceiving ourselves. And that's because nobody else knows. They don't know the thing. So nobody would know that we are actually capping. You are deceiving yourself. Don't be hearers alone. Don't just have listened to the last 7 conversations we've had. Be doers. Take what you've heard to the bank and do something with it. So learning without action, learning without doing is the height of self-deception. And how much can you hate yourself that you know something and you refuse to do it? So as a husband, you know that, oh, if I do this, my wife will like it, but you fail to do it. And then you're having challenges and you're complaining that your marriage is chaotic. No, you know what you are supposed to do, but you refuse to do it. You know it. You like to deceive. You live in that bubble that nobody knows. Nobody is going to know. My guy, somebody is going to know. And the first person that will know is you. Is you. And it would affect every other area of your life. Because if you can, as much as hate yourself to the point of not taking action based on what you know, for your own self, how much more for other people? How much more for your other people, for your boss at the office? So they'll tell you to do 10 things, you do 5 and keep the remaining 5 because they won't know. That is because that is how you treat yourself. That is how you handle your own life. You are the king of the self-deception kingdom. That's one of the reasons many people will not do what they ought to do, because they live in a bubble. They just expect that the thing will be done without them having to be the ones to do it. We want to reap what we did not sow. For some other people, they are waiting for more. They are waiting till, oh, when I have more money, when I have more time, when I understand better, when the economy improves. But God's pattern is different. You know, I was listening to a teaching by one of the men of God I really, really love. He said, in 92, a lady in this church came to him and said, I need to travel out of this country. Nobody succeeds in this country. The young people cannot succeed. So if you are going to succeed, then you must leave Nigeria. You must leave Nigeria. And he told her, you can be right, but follow me. So he took her by the hand and they went to the road. And he said, let's begin to look out for the really, really good cars that are driving past. You know. And then they started paying attention and they saw first car, fantastic car. And he asked her, this person driving this car, how old do you think he is? So she doesn't know, maybe between 30 and 40. So fantastic. Then they saw another one. This person, how old do you think he is? Maybe between 40 and 50. Fantastic. By the time they were done checking a number of cars, he realized, or she realized, that the age bracket of those that were driving those cars, I'm talking about 1992, was between age 30 and 50. So he said to her, these guys are between age 30 and 50. Are you saying that they've all traveled abroad to make the money that they used to buy these cars? Or so what he was doing then was to expose her eyes, her perspective, to seeing that, yes, you can travel out and succeed. However, there are people who are still in this country and are succeeding. So if you feel your own part is to travel, fantastic. But do not say people in Nigeria are not making money. Oh, do not say so. Do not say so. On Instagram yesterday, you know, I saw an ad, and then the lady, she was showing on the ad, you know, of course, she was trying to sell something, you know, which is fine. How she had made 905,000 in the last 4 days in Nigeria as a Nigerian. So I clicked the link. I wanted to see what she was selling. And I saw she was selling a product. A product, a simple product. And the product was 21,000 naira. So for her to have sold 905,000 in 4 days, that means she sold to maybe roughly about 45 people thereabout. So just 45 people bought something from her, 905. Let's assume the next 5 days, she sold another 9. She's had almost 2 million in 5 days. Whereas some people have been working for the last 12 months. They've not been able to put together 500,000. So it is not until you have more money, it is not until you have more time, it's not until you understand better, it's not until the economy improves, it is until you decide to take action and actually take the action. Because God's pattern is different. He always wants you to start with what you have. We all know the story of the widow. The prophet Elisha. Maybe I should just give us a couple of Bible references, because somebody may be thinking, this thing, it doesn't even work. See, if the Bible says it, it is true. Did you hear what I just said? If the word of God says it, it is true. If it's not working for you, it is not working for you. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. And you are the reason it's not working for you. A principle cannot function on its own. It must function with respect to an object. And in this case, you are the object until you begin to take the action. So what happens in Exodus chapter number 4 and verse 2? Moses, the rod, what is in thy hand? He said, a rod. That ordinary rod opened what? The Red Sea. Performed miracles. And what's the lesson in that for you? Listen, talking to you this morning because I want you to get off your seat, get off your comfort space, and begin to take action. Because you have in your hands what can turn your life around, but you have discountenanced it. You don't think you are good enough. What looks small in your hand can be powerful in the hands of God. And how is it powerful? Is when you let it work. When you let it work. When you let it work. When God created the heavens and the earth, there was chaos until God did something. God spoke. Speaking was an action word. It was an action. Speaking is an action word. God spoke. God did something. So even God would not have made a difference in his word until he did something. How much more you? Until you do something, there is nothing that will change in your life. So you've been in a situation and it's getting from bad to worse, from worse to worst. And then you expect that for some reason you wake up one morning and the problem will be gone. No, sir. No, sir. You have to get up and do something about it. And that was what happened to the widow. Her husband had gone. She had debts, The creditors were coming to take her children. She could have sat down there and be crying and be wailing and go on social media and say, please, come and see what is happening to me. But no, she did not. She did not complain. She went to the prophet, who she knew had the capacities to help her. And what did he do? He helped her switch her perspective from that of lack to that of abundance. He asked her, what do you have in the house? And again, as a normal human being, she was quick to say, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. But she remembered, I get one oil for house. Just that oil. And that small thing became business for her. That small thing became business for her. So you know how to plait hair, for instance. But you think, I can't be a hairdresser now. I need big money. Forgetting that you should not despise the days of little beginning. Are you with me this morning? She built a business. She followed the instruction. She didn't just care. What many of us will do? We'll go to church, we'll go to conferences, we'll read books and all these things. We get excited. We know so much, but we do nothing about what we know. We go back home and we remain the same person we were. Before we went to the church. But imagine you hear something, the pastor says something, the minister says something, the teacher says something, the guest speaker says something, and then you take that thing, you've written it down, you go home and you start finding, I was talking to a friend some time ago, and then this friend, a female friend of mine, he said, one thing I like about you is when I come to you and I tell you what my ideas are, you don't start, you say, let's do it immediately. Now, that is why every time I have an idea, you're the first person I call. Because you will not try to think plenty. You will say, let us start working. It's better you do it and you fail than you don't do it at all. While you are doing it, your eye will become clear. You begin to see the reason you should do it, in fact, the strategy to do it. But you will not find those things while you are thinking. You find them while you are doing. So little wonder this friend of mine is doing great in her life. And she called me earlier in the year. But she has been saying it sometimes since last year, instead, he said, let me see, I have this thing I've been thinking of, this, that. The last time we had a conversation around it, she's done with phase 1 of it. And I'm so proud of this young woman. And this is someone who, she just had a child recently. So she's Jocelyn, being a new mom, having to go to work, having to invest in this particular thing she's doing so many things at the same time. Sometimes she'll call 11 p.m., but I'll pick the call because I know this person is a serious human being. Are you listening to me? That nothing you think you have is something. The fact that you think you have nothing itself is something. I pray God gives you the understanding of that. Or we'll talk about the popular story in the Bible, maybe the most popular, among kids. David. He was given armor. He did not want to. It was too heavy. See, there's something that God has been using, you to do. You think he's small. He's not small. The reason you think he's small is because people don't know about it yet. The things that are going viral on social media today are the same things that these set of people have been doing in their room that is just normal. The things, there's this popular singer, Fowles, I listened to his interview one day and he said, see, the way he speaks that got people to know him has been the way he's been speaking as a child, among his siblings. That's the way he speaks. He makes them laugh. He cracks them up. That's who he was. And then internet came. He took the same thing to the internet and he blew up. He didn't do anything different. He used the same skill, the same talent, the same thing he's been doing all the while to get people to, and he succeeded at it. So you think that, that thing that you are doing, I don't want to do. Oh Lord. I have a personal interesting story. There's this very funny skill I have or talent, or I don't know what to call it. It's just something that, interests me and I just like doing it. And I remember those days, I went to serve and they were asking, people that had talent, if you could just come and do this, do that. I thought, well, let me just go and play with this thing. At least thank God nobody knows me here. So nobody's going to laugh at me. And even if they laugh, they don't know me. In a matter of weeks, we'll all go separate ways. And then I went ahead to do it. And everybody stood and they were clapping and everybody, like, This thing we say we just do for secondary school, as a child, then everybody would just, but it was celebrated. And one day I went to one restaurant, fantastic restaurant, And then someone, the waiter said, someone had paid for you. Like, who is the person? I looked at the man, I don't recognize you. He said, no, I was at the event where you did so and so, and it was so interesting. I just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to, like, wow. That same thing that I thought was a waste of time. Something that is not valuable. I'm saying this to say to the person who thinks that he doesn't have anything, that you have something. Don't discountenance what you have, but it is not enough to have that thing. You must do something with it. If David did not step forward to fight, David may not have fulfilled his destiny, because that thing he did was connected to the throne he was going to. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for familiar tools. Do what you've always done. Do what you've always done. Don't wait for anybody's approval. Do not. Do not. That small thing you have can have a massive impact. When Jesus was going to feed the people, 5,000 men was recorded, right? 5 loaves and 2 fish. That was what was used now. That was what was used. See, somebody may be saying, you're just telling all these things. See, the Bible is a compilation of things that happened. Those things happened. If they could happen then, they can happen now. The Jesus that existed then is the same Jesus that exists now. Unless you are telling me that you don't believe in Jesus anymore. Unless you think the Bible is just a storybook that just excites us and you don't believe in what it says. Because if you believe in it, call the name of Jesus in that thing that you're doing and tell me that he will not show up for you. God multiplies what is released, not what is withheld. Your life is not filled with the abundance. It's not defined by the abundance of the things you have and keep to yourself, but the things that you release, the value that you give to the world, the things that you release. So you have something and you have it and you keep it to yourself. Nobody's going to benefit from that stuff. And interestingly, in today's world, the benefit people get does not just come with thank you. It comes with gifts in their hands. It comes with gifts in their hands. Is somebody with me this morning? I'm sharing all this to let us see different examples that should spur us to saying, even if I'm going to fail at it, let me try it. Let me try it. Even if it doesn't make sense, because I know it couldn't have made sense when Jesus said they should fill the jars with water. The guys, the waiters, the servants would have thought, is this guy okay? But what did they do? They obeyed him. And I said earlier, your miracle comes after your obedience, not after your understanding. Because your obedience creates an atmosphere for miracles. And miracles happens when there is belief. Obedience is a function of belief. Obedience shows your belief. And when that happens, miracles happen. So let me share one or two reasons people don't start. And these reasons have been statistically proven. These are the reasons people do not start. The reasons people remain in the same position for donkey years. Number one, fear. Fear. Fear of everything. Fear of failure. What if it doesn't work? In fact, fear of success. Some people are so used to being where they are that they are afraid of succeeding. You tell a person, pick a car amongst all these cars, and the person just forms humility and goes to pick the smallest car. They are afraid of picking the big car because they are afraid of what happens when they pick a big car. When people see that they drive a big car. You've gotten so used to being small in your own eyes that you don't think you can ever be bigger than being small. And God wants to take you to a big place, show you to people, expose you, increase you, but you are comfortable with being small because of fear of success. Fear of success, not just fear of failure. So what if you failed? So what? So what if you failed? Show me a person that is succeeding around you, that is succeeding at the first thing he ever laid his hands on. Not one. One day, I personally took a pen and a paper, and I wrote down things I had done that I failed at. And I kept on writing, like, you don't feel go. But guess what? Every failure led me to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Because when you do something, you've overcome that level for life. You think that people who are very wealthy don't have problems? They do. You don't just see their problems because you are not operating at their level. So a billionaire who is having problems in billions, you who are a thousandaire or perhaps a millionaire, cannot see it because your mind cannot conceive that level yet. He is saying, I have a challenge. And you don't understand how such a person will have a challenge. He is having a problem of a billionaire. You are having a problem of a thousandaire. So you cannot understand. So you think his life is perfect. No, his life is not. Wait until you get there for you to realize that, So yes, you are afraid. I agree. But keep that fear aside, at least for this second quarter of the year, and say, let me do what I've never done before. Even if I fail at it, June will come, second quarter will end, and I'll go back to my normal life. But I bet you that June will come, but you'd have stopped being that person you used to be. You become a new person that you begin to do even greater things than you did in this quarter. Number two, perfectionism. That's the word. Perfectionism. You want things to be perfect. You are a young man of marriageable age, but you do not want to get into marriage yet because you want to have all the money. You want to own your own business, own your own car, have your own house, have your own everything before you get into marriage. I don't even know why I share that instance. But I know that is for someone. It's not going to be perfect. It isn't. As a matter of truth, it's never perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. You look at an organization that is doing well, and you say, that organization, they give you their reports at the end of the year. And then you look at it and say, they did well. But during the year, they were fighting themselves, having targets, having meetings, trashing things out. It looked like chaos on the inside, but outside you were seeing beauty. You think they are perfect. No, they are not perfect. They are fighting every day of that business. You must also do your own fighting. People will look at you and say, oh boy, you are blessed, but they don't know what is going on behind the scenes. That is what is necessary for you to look perfect. It's never going to be perfect. No. The day you get to the point of perfection is the day you actually use everything, because there is nothing like that. It can be beautiful and chaotic, but it will not be perfect. You are not God. You are not God. Number 3, comparison. Comparison. The people who are doing things, who are running things, they don't have 2 heads. They do not. And nobody is doing better than you. Absolutely nobody is doing better than you. They are just doing what they ought to be doing. You also must start doing what you ought to be doing. Nobody is better than, as a human being. Nobody. 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 The same sun that they experience, that they walk under, is the same one you walk under. The same rain, the same moon, the same everything. So there is no preferential treatment for any person. So if anybody could do it, then you can do it also. So don't think anybody is better than you. Don't think so. What you should do when you see someone doing what you have not done before is to be inspired by it, is to go close to the person and ask questions. How did you do this? When did you do this? Why did you do this particular thing? Take those knowledge and go and implement in your own life. They are not better than you. Time has just given an opportunity to see the reward of their work. Time will give you the opportunity to. But if you do not invest now, sow now, do nothing now, take that action now, the time will pass and there's nothing to show for it. Number 4, lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. Why, I cannot overstate this enough. You are not ready. You are not ready. You cannot. Nobody is losing now. Nobody is losing. In fact, I think confidence is overrated. I think that we should begin to do even what we are not confident about. Do it scared. Do it afraid. Just do it. Because of shame, Abi. So if you do it and you feel like people laugh at you. Now that you've not succeeded at it, are they still not talking behind you? Are they still not talking behind you? Do yourself a world of good by taking action. Do yourself a world of good by doing it, by having confidence for your own self. For your own self, not because of anybody. Imagine you carry God and you are worried about what people think. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. I need to move fast this morning. My time is fast spent. So, you do not become ready before you start. You become ready by starting. Let me say it again. You do not become ready before you start. You become ready by what? By starting. And the truth of the matter is, starting doesn't have to be big. Starting, in fact, I encourage many times, should be small. And starting small is never a disadvantage. Many people despise small beginnings. When Zacharias told us, do not despise small beginnings. Do not despise the days of little beginnings. When you start big, you fail big and your embarrassment is big. When you start small, you fail small. Your embarrassment is small. And big things, it is small things that grow big. Big things already, where are you going to? So you want everything to be perfect. You want to start your business with a pool car already, official vehicle, official space. Now, I remember the story of, can't remember where I read that story, but this particular person said it happened around Allen Avenue. You know, he had come back into the country. He came with a lot of money. He's not tested this idea. He wanted to be selling furniture. He's not tested the idea. He's not operated in the Nigerian market before. He got a space in the 90s around Allen Avenue, furnished it, got chair, got secretary, got staff, got marketers, got security, got everything. No single customer, but had set up a full company because he had business, the money to set up the business. First month passed, no sale. Second month passed, no sale. Gradually, the money he had finished. He had to start borrowing to pay salaries. He had to start selling some of the items he ought to have sold at the right amount for giveaway prices just to get money to pay staff salary. Before he knew it, the staff he had employed, poached from other organizations, started leaving one after the other. He could not pay rent the following year. Business crashed. He went back. And then he asked someone, told the person the story, and the person said, you did it the wrong way. You did it the wrong way. You don't start a business with an organization. You start a business with a customer. You don't start a business with a full-blown organization. You start the business with a customer. With a customer. A lady sent me a message some weeks ago saying, she wants to, she's looking for money. She wants to get a shop, to be selling food produce. She needs to buy big bags, buy this and do that. And I said, that is fantastic. So when are you going to start? She can't start. She doesn't have money. So what are you going to do? She said she doesn't know. That's why she's talking to me. I just laughed. See, you are worried about the wrong thing. What you need right now is not money. What you need is not the shop. What you need is a customer. What you need is a customer. There are people already selling what you want to sell. Go meet them. Discuss with them. Know the price of these things. Know how it's done. Go find someone who needs to buy a bag of rice. Collect the person's money. Supply the bag of rice. You make your own profit on it. Do that over time. You would have built a number of customer base. Your clients. You build a customer base and you'll be able to begin to sell to them. Someone else said, I want to have a poultry. I need money. I need to build a poultry. I want to buy 2,000 chicks and then layers. After 4 months, they begin to lay and they'll do this. I say, hey, when they begin to lay, where will you sell these things to? Why not go and find poultries that already exist? Have a partnership with them that, for every sale you make, you collect a social amount. Go and look for depots where you supply the eggs to. Carry the egg, supply. Collect your own profits, your markup. Do it over time. You already have a number of people that you supply to. You've raised money. It is even them that will raise you. To now get money to set up your own poultry will not be difficult anymore because you have the most important thing, a customer. Do not despise the days of little beginnings. Small is not shameful. As a matter of truth, small is strategic. I need to run now. Small is strategic. It's strategic. And I should say this. God does not just multiply ideas. He multiplies actions. You can have 10 business ideas. You can have 5 plans. You can have 3 strategies. But until you act, nothing will change. Heaven responds to movements. Responds to movements. So I'm going to give you assignments you must do this week. Very important. Very important. Very important. Because all the financial principles we've been learning will not be able to be implementable. You'll not be able to implement them if you don't have cash flow. Cash flow is king. You must have a means of making money consistently. That is when you'll be able to put money aside. That is when you'll be able to do this and do that. So what I've come here to challenge you to do today is to get off your seats and go do something. You have that idea. It's been sitting in your head, in your journal, for years, and every time you go to it and look at it and say, I wish, stop wishing. This week you tell yourself you will do something. If you have a skill, offer it. If you have a phone, start content. If you have 5,000 naira, start something. If you have an idea, test it. If you have a connection, reach out to someone. Do something with it. Do something with it. Because your faith is proven by your action. Hebrews 11 and verse 8. By faith, Abraham obeyed. Faith is not belief alone. Faith is movement. The test of your faith in God is in your taking action with what He's told you. The Red Sea did not part when Moses prayed. It parted when he moved. So you've learned enough. You've heard enough. You've planned enough. Now it's time to act, because your breakthrough is hiding in the steps you've been avoiding. Your breakthrough is hiding in the steps you've been avoiding. If you will, you say this with me. Let's just have this declaration. Say, I will act on what I know. And say it with conviction. I will act on what I know. I will not wait for perfection. I will start with what I have. God will multiply my efforts, and I will move forward in faith. See, here's what I've done. I'm working on it. It's not done yet, because I had to gather the feedback, from the conversations we've heard over the past 8 weeks or 7 weeks. And I saw that there's still something missing. Despite these things these people have heard, there's still something missing. So I'm putting together, I'm about 75 to 80% done. What I've titled the Lagos Wealth Blueprint. The Lagos Wealth Blueprint. And I'm going to be sharing with us on this show, with the listeners, as many people as interested. As a matter of truth, I think I should even put a paywall, because one of the reasons you've been gathering information and not doing anything about it is because they've been coming to you free. You can easily go on YouTube and watch 100 teachings on time management, on product ideation, on product development, on marketing, on strategy, you can listen and watch all these things, but you're not doing anything about them. Sometimes it's because your money is not where your mouth is. So I'm going to put a pay point on this. And those who get this will be those who really, really are